Okay, so I want to talk to you about the future and how the robots are going to take over and torture us, of course. But there's a better focus than supposing that machines like this computer you're looking at, or TV, television, or radio, or speaker, whatever it is, can do good. Okay, um, but I believe that currently they're not. You turn on TV and there's a traffic jam of nauseous commercials and programming, and occasionally there's something good on. But if you're not there at that time, you miss it. And so this is not good for people to miss it, because then you get anxiety, and then the next time around, people, the stream of nauseous programming from the machines that you're looking at, the computer, not a machine, not a machine, just the helper, okay, that keeps the civilization going. So you gotta understand, this is like fantastic potentiality of the future, basically. That uh, you know, it's this great big picture. Keep getting things popping up there. This great big picture of I gotta put this thing down somewhere. Okay. This great big picture of the future, what I call the unified social theory, which is theory. I just said that right. In unified. So basically, it's all these it's all these components, like elements, like the air we breathe, the food we eat, the gravity that holds us on the ground, type of stuff. All these big things, and then it's like a bunch of inventions that go around that are simplified through theory. And so this could just make the world so much dissonance and sarcasm are very very shifty. I mean, you grew up in, I keep on telling everyone that if you grew up in California, particularly in a mixed neighborhood, you're the scapegoat, okay? So everything becomes a joke, everything becomes sarcasm and stuff like that. And so this is, the tip of the iceberg of what's possibly there that can be used properly, that can be acknowledged, and therefore Skype's toolbar keeps popping up. I don't know why. So I have to click it. Click. So I'm working on all these things, and it's basically just all poetry and theory and stuff like that, because, a little bit of drawings, but stop doing that, my back's been killing me. But I desperately need to focus in on this stuff, and it's, I feel like basically I'm like this kid who's never grown up because of the whole California thing. I mean, I saw that, like, coming down the pike, that whole traffic, that pollution, the television of sort of like, you grew up in California, well, you're left-handed, well, that means you're gay. Well, that's like the other hand goes up like a mother, okay? If that's the deal, then we're in hell, and you gotta fight or something like that. So that's evil. That's how you get a little anxious there. But if you look, you'll see that's how it is. I mean, who has to get out of the way for you to win? That's like a major problem. It's like using the wrong shampoo or something like that. Okay, so rambling, man. So Skype toolbar popping up every minute. Okay, so no one's calling me either, so Uh, um, so I'm working on this unified social theory. You got to imagine one of the main things when I say like a stream of nauseous commercials. But if you go out on a street and you try and take the efficient street to walk along and stuff like that, vehicles are that same way, that same sort of Hollywood. Ooh, I'm cool type of thing, you know, like driving along, but nobody really knows how it's working. What's the point? What's the purpose? What is the function? What the function is, you know, is to keep it clean, and and so that's what the vehicle of the future will compassionately do, is we enter our own profile, and then there's a little bit of randomness because there's a little bit of random. Stuff in there, but not on the quantified section. So you can borrow, if you're doing math or something like that, division, you borrow a number from the top, but you don't borrow from the bottom because that's you're gonna get lies then. Okay, so the bottom is it's like a net. So you have to put that. It sounds good to have a net down there. So it's a very extremely specialized net for a very rare and important treasure that's on the bottom. That's what a net is. Normative youth transplant is to find these treasures down there that's very specialized. You're keeping that whole. The randomness. So see, you get I don't know what the camera's doing there. It's freezing. There we go. Okay, so that's the paradigm of the equation where you think, oh, I'm going to borrow from the top and I'm going to put the net down on the bottom. So what are you doing with the net? You're borrowing them. You're draining the brain. You're kind of like trying to uh, repatriate them. It's like that's unpatriotic actually. So that's how confusing. So geography, the normalcy of geography, the geographic normativity. We're keeping it simple, but losing the meaning, and so getting confused because people don't want to believe. They should not have to see uh, the the desecration without the net down there on the bottom. That there's like a rationality, of drugs or hatred or God knows what, because you want to keep it moral more than you want to keep it clean. I mean, I'd rather see movies and stuff like that where they're just nonstop cussing, because I find that much more pleasant than fake violence or sex. Gets like language has this ability to make brilliant understanding and colors without um, without the filth and stuff like that. So that's what Net is doing, is taking. So it's Net is very complex to do a very simple thing. So it is like basically like what is there's like pollution. I'm up on this roof here, and there's pollution just like flowing over the hilltops here. It's worse on the street too, but I don't know what it is. But that's see, if you don't know, then there's that confusion, and it's really so basically, what I'm trying to do, what I'm hoping to do, is uh, figure out a place where I can have like a whole bunch of notes. You ever seen the movie 1492 where Christopher Columbus is standing on the sea cliffs where all the mariners, there's a college up there, and he took in some vow of silence, right? But there's all these maps on these big scrolls, these big like shuffling through them, and it could be basically surrounded by all these maps, and that's what I'm trying to do with the sociological theory, as well as this constellation of inventions, this sort of orbit. It's not. It's a constellation in a philosophical sense, but it's really an orbit in a invention-wise sense. Uh, so, and one of the reasons I go online and write about this stuff is that I'm afraid that like starting like 10 years ago, and then about 12 years ago, when I first started writing about this, I started thinking, man, I gotta make copies of my notes because I'm going on a plane, and who knows, planes don't always land, right? So I was like really paranoid that my great discoveries would be um, somehow lost. And so uh, um, yeah, so I'm just trying to do all these inventions. The inventions themselves are much more along the line of series of prototypes. Writing it, even if you're a fantastic artist and you got all the mechanical drawing stuff or an assistant, that's what I need. um, that's not really it because the designs of these inventions, these future inventions, is that they are extremely simple. Um, so they're so simple that a drawing is an extreme redundancy because you're not actually creating anything, you're just assembling it. You're just composing it, you're simply taking existing stuff and which can come in various quality as well as quantity. So you have to have a box of these components, and then hopefully they're not like the stuff that's made of toxic 99-cent store rubber, some evil sort of clothes that China wouldn't. China probably does wear, but that are made there. It's like this junk stuff that's you go into a cheap store and you smell this. It smells like the insecticide aisle in a grocery store. And you're like, whoa, keep walking. It's like the bleach or something like that. It's much more like an insecticide stuff. So these things, um, the Skype toolbar, God. Uh, so well, um, yeah, so I'm trying to do all these inventions, okay, and uh, that's kind of my objective, and focus. So I'm just trying to focus because um, I have like a thing where basically the wrong food or discomfort or something like that puts me in this probably bad attitude or something like that. Not just a presentation, it's like it's much more than that, much more focus, right? So, okay, so here we go.